All right, Isabella, you can give us an opening prayer, then we officially start our Geography 3 lesson.
Let's humble ourselves for prayer. Father Lord, we thank you for this day. Thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for everything that you have done for us. May you help us to learn this lesson well, and may you remember whatever teacher taught us, and may you protect our teacher. In Jesus' name we are prayed and believe. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Isabella, for a wonderful and a very brief opening prayer. I do hope that God must guide us throughout. So last time, members, we talked about, maybe before I continue, is Mr. Sasio. Mr. Sasio, if you're inside, please help us put up your hand so as we can run this lesson together. And allow me also give this chance to Isabella, who has given us an opening prayer. You are a co-host, meaning you are our class monitor for this lesson. So Isabella, you're working as a co-host for this lesson, and that gives you a chance and an authority to work as our class captain. For any concern, please always give it out. Then if Mr. Sasio is inside as well, can put up his hand so as we can see the way how best we can control this lesson. I remain and I am Mr. Elisha, still running the geography lesson. The other time we talked about rivers. And we described what a river is and what forms a river, maybe some other different stages of a river. Not only that, we had to make a step and describe another or one of the parts of a river, none other than the first stage, which is the useful stage. And therefore, I expect that at least some of you to be having such knowledge before us continuing. So maybe can I see who can briefly tell us about the lesson that we last talked about? Who can briefly? You can just briefly say maybe we studied about this, just by show of hands. Briefly tell us. If I say briefly, you will just maybe tell me this and this. Oh wow, that is what I love. Okay, I know I love an active class, and an active class is the one that makes everything perfect. Romans, you're escaping once again. Can you put up your hand once again? Romans. Oh, Romans KV. Romans and KV. If at all it is part of network that makes you unable maybe to do or to react, that's react by putting up the hand, then it will maybe be clarified after. We talked about mainly about rivers, and we looked at different stages. One of the stages, we looked at the useful stage, whereby we described what a useful stage of a river is. Then again talked about the features of a useful stage. And our main feature was about what we call waterfalls. We looked at a waterfall and how it is formed. That is after studying about the aesthetics of a useful stage of a river, and we looked at the useful stage of a river. Then that is where we shall have water flowing at a very high speed. And again, the main purpose of a river at that stage is none other than a loading. There is what we call vertical erosion. Vertical erosion. That means that the river erodes towards down or downwards. And when it elodes, it does not leave such materials which it elodes in one stage, because it is having energy to carry whether big stones and other materials to or down the slope. Because we discover that with the useful stage of a river, it is normally found in areas which are in steep, because originally we know that the river flows from a high altitude to a lower altitude. I think I told you one of the scenarios that by P4, that's when I studied that River Nile, was it P4? P3, there. That River Nile flows towards the north. So I was surprised, and I had to argue with the teacher, because I could not accept a river flowing towards the north. So I thought that whenever they say towards the north, then it is flowing maybe from a lower altitude to higher altitude. I was like, maybe which type of a river is that? So after the teacher described where the north is, and in the north of Africa, or the northern part of Africa is on a lower altitude than the source of River Nile. That means Uganda is on a higher altitude than where River Nile flows to. And that means that whenever you come to where there is a source of River Nile, we shall find such extincts, river flowing at a very high speed. That is one thing. Secondly, we shall find there rapids and falls. That's why in Uganda we are producing hydroelectric power at ease. We shall find such rivers loading very many things. We have heard of rivers maybe destroying some people's property, that is carrying stones and what from the mountains. So now, that was all about the useful stage of a river vis-a-vis what we call its features. And among its features, I said that we mainly talked about what we call a waterfall. So a waterfall is not the only feature that is formed under the useful stage of a river, but there are other stages, there are other features that are formed on the useful stage of a river. So such a features, we shall find there a prank pool. We are going to see talk about it. A branch pool. When a river is, or when water is doing the other thing, the so-called vertical erosion, then it forms something like a hole on its bed. And that is what we call a branch pool. Water will always flow there, then it again jumps. I'm going to show it to you, or we are going to talk about it. And someone is saying that people are less, that is KV. I don't know if they are less Castayo inside. And it's very good that you're inside. You're not among the less. Oh, you're not among the people who are absent. So I had wanted maybe to talk about more features in the other lesson, but then time was also against us, because I normally do teach for people to understand, not teaching to finish the syllabus. So I request that the way how I told you that these are the critical topics that we'll ever find in geography. When I say critical, then they are physical geography that needs total understanding. Total understanding. I can see Erin Ali, if at all there was any concern, I will first allow you before I proceed. Erin?
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, please.
Is it fine when you help us display those pictures?
If I help you to do what?
Display the features that you're talking about.
All right, it is where we are going to. Thank you so much. Okay. So that is none other than Erin is asking if at all you can display such features. Okay, I'm going to do it. And maybe that is where we're going to, the different stages of a river. This feature that I'm going to show to you, or that I'm going to project right now, a branch pool is under the useful stage of the river. I told you that the features, some of the features I didn't finish them because of time, but today I want us to look at the other two stages. That's the mature stage and then the last stage of a river. So we are going to look at this branch pool. And I have said that a branch pool, can anyone read for us? Can anyone read for us by show of hands? Can anyone read for us? Oh, wow. This is what I love. Okay. Erin?
A plunge pool is a hollow or broad depression formed at the base of the waterfalls or enlarged potholes due to prolonged drilling and grinding of the valley floor. Plunge pools form when potholes at the base of the waterfall are enlarged by scoring action, undercutting, edding and cultivation, swelling and erosion. There is renewed river energy which transports the eroded materials or load. Plunge pools from under the following conditions: large volume of water in a river, steep river gradient, high erosion power or energy due to high rate of flow, a hard rock overlaying a soft rock, large amount of boulders carried by the rivers which acts as grinding instructions on a river flow.
All right. Thank you so much, Erin, for a wonderful presentation. So now we are saying that a plunge pool is a hole or a broad depression formed at the base of the waterfalls or the enlarged potholes due to prolonged drilling and grinding of the valley floor. Now, members, it is a very good thing that we first talked about what we call a waterfall. And I said that, I repeat it, a branch pool is formed where there is a waterfall. So in that process where the water is moving from that higher altitude to the lower altitude, like, because I think we had the other simple trip that whereby we had to see the other video of how CP falls are. So where the water was jumping from the other high altitude to lower altitude, so where it flows on that ground, that is where you shall find a big depression, as the description tells us. They're saying that branch pools form when potholes at the base of the waterfall are enlarged by swirling action. When I say swirling actions, it is this where the water is falling on the ground, undercutting, aiding, and cavitation, swelling, and erosion. Because after it is falling there, then it will wash away the rocks which are on that ground. And that rock which is washed away, it means that it was a soft rock. Members, the river washes away or erodes soft rocks. Because we also talked about that a waterfall is formed where there is a mixture of these rocks. The other, where the hard rock, okay, soft rocks are underlying on the hard rocks. Then the soft rocks are washed away and we remain with the other hard rock. Then we are thinking that there are renewed river energy which transports the eroded materials or load principles from under the following actions. One, we're having large volume of water in a river. Where there is a large volume of water in a river, then we shall have what we call a principle. Then again, steep river gradient. I do think that I gave you some time to draw the other picture or the photo that I projected to you in the other last lesson about waterfalls. And there is somewhere where I had indicated that this is a plunge pool. On the other simple depression that was on the ground where the river was flowing to. We have such lessons. Sorry, also I had to again put that lesson on our WhatsApp group. And I do think that whether 99% of you were able to download those notes and also see what I had projected. Then we think high erosion power energy due to high rate of low. So now we said that under this stage, there is what we call high erosion. The river flows at a very high speed and therefore it erodes very many materials. Then we say a hard rock overlying a soft rock. When we say a hard rock overlying a soft rock, that means, what do we mean? That whenever the water is flowing on that ground, I told you that what it erodes is a soft rock. And if at all, when it is eroding, the soft rock moves away, then we remain with that depression which has what we call a hard rock. Matthew? Then we have large amount of boulders carried by the river, which acts as grinding instruments on the river flow. Now, members, we say that boulders are these big stones that most of the times we normally find them in the banks of a river, and they are they are carried and deposited by the river. When water is flowing, then it deposits such big stones. So they are known as boulders. Now, when the river is carrying such stones, then the river such boulders go while trying to erode the other soft rocks. It keeps on knocking the soil under on the bed of the river. Then it forms what we call a depression, and that depression is known as a plunge pool. Even if when the water is flowing from the other high altitude that I had to show you, then towards going downwards, it will as well use the boulders to remove the other softer part of the soil, and we form what we call a depression. So that is all about what we call a plunge pool, which is another feature formed under the full stage of a river. I don't know if there is any concern. Please, you can ask before I put or I continue to any other thing. And I expect that as I'm explaining, members, we are writing. Okay, that is Matthew. Yes, Matthew. Matthew?
My concern was just on plant. They only form that river points or any place with fast flowing water can have a plant.
They are what?
They only formed at waterfall points or any place with fast flowing water can form a plant pool.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, someone is asking, do plunge pools formed only where there are waterfalls only? The answer is no. And if it is a no, then where else do plunge pools, where are they formed? One, we are having These Romans that you see here will give us more options, or do give us more options where waterfalls are formed. Now we're having the first one here as a large volume of water, large volume of water in a river. Members, let's assume that the river is flowing, but then where is it flowing? It is in the other first stage of a river, in the youthful stage of a river, where it is having the high gradient. As it is flowing and the water is a load, it will as well load. It is having the power to load the softer rocks under or on the bed of a river and forms what we call a plunge pool. The steep gradient that is where we shall have a waterfall, then high erosion power. And for the river to get to the other high erosion or eroding power, it is when it is in the useful stage. So the river can as well be formed under all these situations here. And these situations can as well be found on the waterfall. We are saying where a hard rock overlying the soft rock. So as it is moving, you find there is where you find what we call a hard rock. Okay, there was another person that is someone who is taking us Park 7 will give us his or her name.
Mr. Elisha.
Yes, please.
Yes, Mr. Elisha.
Okay, this is Mr. Sansio?
Yes, this is Mr. Sansio.
All right, Mr. Sansio, you're highly welcome to our lesson. And I'm very sorry for not recognizing you before. Mr. Sansio is one of our colleagues that we handled our last lesson the other time and is here with us. So members, we receive him with some flowers. Can give him some flowers as we receive him in our class as well. So he's going to give us some more explanation. Thank you so much for the people who are receiving him warmly. Okay, Mr. Sansio.
Yes, please.
Okay, can you please maybe let me first receive Matthew. Then after Matthew, you will again maybe talk more about a plunge pool before we go to any other stage.
Thank you so much. I'm waiting. I'll give another explanation.
All right. Mr. Matthew.
Yes, sir. You've talked about the youthful stage being able to form these plant pools. But how about water flowing from the middle stage, since it also has flowing water?
Okay, someone is saying, what if it is formed in the middle stage? So when it comes to the middle stage members, we rarely find their plunge pools. Reason being, the river will have reduced on speed, its speed. Sometimes you can find it there, but then that is maybe to when the river is still having the other energy to a load. An addition, Mr. Sansio.
Mr. Elisha.
Yes, please.
Let me also give that some explanation. That in the middle stage, we rarely find there a plunge pool. It is because in the middle stage we have what we call lateral erosion, and lateral erosion happens in the sides of the river. In the sides of the river, yet a plunge pool is formed on the river bed. Are we together? In the middle stage we have lateral erosion, but in the have vertical erosion in the useful stage. That's why we have a plunge pool at the bottom of the waterfall. So in the middle stage, you cannot find there what we call a waterfall, and yet a plunge pool must happen on the bottom of a waterfall. So that is why you cannot find a plunge pool in the middle stage, since we can also not find there a waterfall. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Sansio, for a wonderful contribution. I think that's the same thing that I was telling you about. When it comes to the middle stage, Because here at this stage, I told you that we are talking about what we call vertical erosion. It's the one that is in the useful stage of a river. And I told you the main purpose or the main reason as why we are having that vertical erosion. First of all, the river is flowing at a higher speed and is in a high altitude. And so such things will bring what we call that vertical erosion. And what does it mean with vertical erosion? It means the river is eroding the bed of, okay, it's eroding its bed. Eh? Matovu, please. Okay, hopefully you've known your mistake. So that's all about, if at all there is any other concern, and I do think that was it Matthew? Matthew now at least contented on what we have given out. Okay, allow me think that we have now written what is or what has been projected. Let's move on to the next slide, which takes us to the next stage of a river. To the next.
Mr. Elisha,
Yes, please.
maybe before we go to another slide, make a remarkable comment that we have decided to teach a waterfall and a plunge pool as our features, but it does not mean that the useful stage only has two features.
Yes, please.
Features in the useful stage, you can talk about a cliff, you can talk about a gorge, you can talk about a geo. So learners should make that discussion, should make that research about other features of the what? Of the useful stage. As of now, we have discussed two, and we are going to another stage because we want to cover something good on the rivers. But learners, I urge you to make the discussion and make that research on a cliff, on a geo, on a gorge. Those are also pronounced features of a useful stage. Thank you, Mr. Raisha.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Sansio. So we're having other features that are formed under this stage, but then the main features we shall find a waterfall and a plunge pool. Let's go to the next stage, and it is none other than the middle stage. When it comes to this stage, members, that is when we have now moved. I will maybe after take you through where and how where it is formed, we shall as well get a simple tour. Okay, Isadora, I had seen Isadora with the hand up. Isadora, I don't want to leave there any person with a concern. Isadora, any concern?
I was just volunteering to read the middle stage.
Thank you so much. I love that. Okay, you can help us, please.
Okay, the middle stage. The major work of a river at this stage is both erosion and deposition. This is because the rate of flow slows more than the upper course. But however, the river's bed will still be lowered by the grinding action of stones, which a river rolls along. In the places where the river is slowest, there is deposition of rich alluvial soils, and meanders also begin. The features produced at this stage are open U-shaped valleys, flood plains, and line of bluffs or spar ends. The mature river is an in-between stage, and here the river still undercuts through a much lesser degree than the youthful river does, mainly erode laterally. The channel of the mature stage is a U-shape but deeper and not as wide as the old stage of a river's channel.
Thank you so much, Isadora, for a very wonderful contribution towards your presentation. Now, we're having the middle stage. I'll first read it maybe slowly. Then after, we need as well to witness how such features are formed. I will maybe explain more, then also we shall get another addition from Mr. Sosio, who is my co-teacher within this lesson. Now, we are having the major work. I think that the major work of a river at this stage is both erosion and deposition. Now, let's compare it first. Let's first compare it with the other useful or the upper stage of a river. We think that with the upper stage, the main purpose you find it will be eroding. It will just be erosion. But here we are having erosion and again deposition. Then this is because the rate of the flow slows. Members, when you throw, I think we all do study physics, and under momentum, we normally see that whenever you throw something from a higher altitude, it will come with that speed, but it keeps on reducing the speed as it goes to a lower altitude. Likewise, assume you're driving a bicycle from the other high slope going downwards. You will find that you need to be having the other brake. You have to put on a brake. Or some of you can drive cars, motorcycles. So as you're sloping down, you will have to put in the brake. Reason being, the vehicle itself is moving at a very, the velocity of the vehicle is high. Reason being, there is what we call high altitude, which is dropping downwards. So same as to this one. Now, when you come to the lower altitude, then the river reduces its speed. And when it reduces its speed, that means if it has been eroding, it will erode, but then not more as in the upper stage. It will have reduced its energy somehow. And therefore, it will start depositing some of the materials. But however, the river's bed will still be lowered by the grinding action of the stones. Remember that it moves from the upper stage when it is carrying some stones, which normally come from the mountains. Some of you live near with mountains. Those people from Bale, Kapchorwa, other parts are in Kaseise. Those who have ever gone to such areas, those mountains have such big stones, and rivers normally originate from such mountains. So they come with such stones, and they use such stones to erode the riverbed. We talked about two actions, members, and that is hydraulic action. Then and again, what? They will remind it to you. Please, Mr. Sansio, note it down. You'll talk about it. Then we think, in places where the river is slowest, there is deposition of rich alluvial soils and meanders also begin. So mainly within this lesson, I want to talk about what we call meanders, but that's meanders mainly come in our next version, which we're going to talk about, or we're going to look at still in our today's lesson. And when we talk about rich alluvial soils, I think you all know that most of the people come to grow their crops alongside the rivers, near the banks or on the banks of the river. Reason being, the soil, first of all, is fertile. They have what we call fertile alluvial soils. The alluvial soils are such soils which are formed by the deposition of a river. They are formed from what the river deposits. From what the river deposits on its bank, then they decompose and form what we call rich alluvial soils. Then you're saying that the features produced at this stage are open. First of all, I want you now to differentiate the two. When it comes to the first stage members or to the upper stage, we have V-shaped valleys. But when it comes to this stage now, we have U-shaped valleys. I don't know if you understand what a V-shaped is. Now we are having something V-shaped, you'll find it is like this. Then something U-shaped, you'll find it like this. Yeah? That means what brings a V shape here on the upper stage? Because of lateral erosion. But this side, because of vertical, I'm sorry. Because of vertical erosion, it will bring the V shape part of the river. But when it comes to this middle stage, you will find what we call lateral erosion. Lateral erosion, what does it do? For it, it erodes the banks of a river. It erodes this side. So this side keep on enlarging like this, like this. So you find it enlarges this V-shaped. So you find that in the middle stage, you have U-shaped valleys. Then we have flat plains and line of bars, all the spar ends. Then the mature river is in between the stage. Here, the river still undercuts the stuff, what and what and what. I think most of the explanation about it, it is mainly concerns on the U-shaped and again the flat plains. Allow me receive Mr. Sasi as well to get or to give us a contribution on this stage.
Yes, please. Thank you so much, Mr. Elisha. Concerning the middle stage, I don't want learners to get confused. Please don't confuse yourself. Don't think that this thing is very hard. No, we are just altering the characteristics of the useful stage, just changing the opposite of the other, getting something else. Now, there we said V-shaped, and the reason was vertical erosion. Here we are saying U-shaped. The reason is lateral erosion. Lateral erosion comes in because of the material the river has come along with from the useful stage. Because you have said that in the useful stage, the river is majorly eroding. So which means that it is coming with the materials. So that material will be much in the channel. And since the channel is small, the material try to find its way, how it is going to move smoothly. So that's why the material keep on hitting on the sides of the river channel in order to enlarge the what? In order to enlarge the channel. In the so doing of enlarging the channel, it is what we call lateral erosion. Erosion is there, but not focusing on the bed, but this time round, focusing in the sides of the river, so that the material can move smoothly. In the so doing, it gives us the shape of U-shape. Now, another thing that I wanted also to add on, it is because I wanted to talk about the gradient upon which the river moves in the middle stage. We said that in the useful stage, the gradient was very steep. But now in the middle stage, we are going to say that the gradient is moderate. The gradient is not gentle, but it is moderate. Because remember, we have the old stage. In the old stage is where we are going to say that the gradient reduces thoroughly and the river will be moving. So here the river is not moving very slow, but the river is moving at a moderate stage, at a moderate speed. I think you are understanding. In the useful stage, we say the river moves very fast, but here we say the river moves at a moderate state, and the gradient here is also moderate. So everything just reduces. I think we are okay there. Now, the major activity of the river upon the characteristics is what we call, actually we have three. Mr. Elisha, I want to add on the third role of a river in the middle stage.
It is very fine, sir.
That third role is actually what we call transportation. Another role of a river in the middle stage is transportation. The first role, we said that it is erosion, which is lateral erosion. Then another role, we said that the river is also depositing. But members, depositing is at a slow rate. It is at a limited percentage. Depositing is there, but that deposition is not that much. as compared to the old stage. Deposition is there, but not very pronounced. But what we call transportation is also taking place, because all what has been eroded passes through the middle stage, and that is what we call transportation, ready to be deposited in the old stage. So that's why I'm saying that the major roles here are what we call erosion, that is lateral erosion in the sides of the river channel, and transportation, because we are transporting what we got from in the useful stage. Then limited deposition. I think their members, you are understanding. Then we shall see deposition in the old stage. Deposition will only be dominating there, since the river has reduced its capacity of erosion and everything. It is just depositing. But now here, deposition is at limited percentage. I don't want you to confuse yourself, members. Now the major features, as we are going to the next slide, maybe if we have any question, members, put up your hand and we answer you. Mr. Elisha, I think I pause from here as we go to the next slide of the features. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Sansio, for a very wonderful contribution. Kwezi, if at all there is any concern, about this stage, please, we normally base on the understanding of a student, not completing the topic, please. So please let's know if at all there is any concern or something you're still not confident with, so as we can still give you more explanation about it. Hopefully none. And allow me now move to the next slide, which members, before I move to the next slide, my main purpose this time around, we are going to look at how that such meanders are formed, and they are mainly in the other last stage. And again, we shall have another trip to the press. Last time we moved to Kapchorwa, that is in the eastern part of Uganda, and this time around we shall move to the southwestern part of Uganda to see where Semurichi is and what is the problem with the Semurichi. I mean the geographical concept of Semurichi. Remember, geography is a spatial science. Okay, maybe we have mainly middle stage. Sorry. Okay. This is the stage that I want us to talk about, and it is none other than, can I see by show of hands who can help us, please? Maybe give us some, okay. Another person, the two people are very active within this class. Allow me first to read for you some boys who are just there quiet. Let me first see you, Kevin, Atamba, I don't know if you're a girl, boy. Then there is we are having some boys who are gym. We are having some boys there. So please let me have some participation with the, okay. I love it. Very many are inside now. Even Kevin is inside. NBA.
Yes, I wanted to read.
All right. Thank you. You can do it for us.
Okay. The lower course or senile stage.
Yes.
This is sometimes referred to as the old stage or the plain stage. In this stage, a river's most important work is deposition.
Sorry. Sorry. Okay, you can continue.
Okay. Old age rivers actually have more distinguishing features to speak of than the youthful and mature rivers do.
Okay, thank you so much. Your name? Your NBA?
Teacher, my name is Nate.
All right. Thank you so much for a wonderful contribution. I love it when I also hear a voice from the gent, not from the ladies only. Yes, we have girls are dominating everywhere. And please, thank you so much, ladies in geography class. They are the active and the most active gender that is dominating everything. I love it. So I think that the lower course or the scenario stage, I think Mr. Sansio will talk about its ethics. Allow me give you some brief explanation about it. This is sometimes referred to as this one. I think here I had made a mistake. This is us. Sorry. This word is us, not us. So the word is us, the old stage. This is sometimes referred to as the old stage or the plain stage. And in this stage, a river, the river's most important work is deposition. Now, why do we say that it is deposition? Because it has lowered the speed kakendede. The speed reduces at a very high speed. So it reduces slowly, and the river be moving at a very, it is moving slowly. It has very little energy to transport. And therefore, what it does, it deposits. What does it deposit? It deposits the items or the other borders, the other materials that it carries from the useful stage, from the mature stage. Now, when it comes to the so-called the old stage or the mature stage, the river is mature indeed. We can consider that one with our lifetime now. When you get the other old mzee of 95 years, may not carry a heavier age or a heavier kgs, kilograms, with you, the youth. That's why we're having the useful stage, which is energetic, and you are also among the youth. So you are able to carry something big than the other person who is 95 or 85 and above. In this stage, okay, we have seen the major purpose. Members, this major purpose is always not them down. One, we looked at that in the first stage, that is the useful stage, which we saw erosion. Then in the mature stage, sorry, in the middle stage, sorry, we discovered erosion and deposition. But here mainly we are looking at deposition. Okay, the old age rivers actually have more distinguishing features to speak of than the useful or the mature stage. Why do we have very many features in the useful stage? Sorry, in the old stage or the old stage, it's because as the river is depositing, then more features are being formed. Any concern? Okay. Isadora, I think, wanted to add on something, but I've given it. Okay, so allow me as well, as I move to the next slide, I receive Mr. Sansio as well to talk about the ethics. Members, whenever I say ethics, I mean the characteristics of the lower course, the scenario stage, or the old stage of a river.
Yes, Mr. Elisha, thank you so much for that wonderful explanation as we are winding up our river stages. But the members, I want to continue with the characteristics of the mature stage. So maybe Mr. Ere should get me one person to read them so rapidly, and then I come explaining and throwing more light and the members should understand very well.
All
Thank
right,
you.
by show of hands, I need someone to read from number 1 up to number 8. Just up to number 8. We'll leave out number. Okay, this is none other than Isadola, allow me receive Joan as well. This time around. There is Julian as well. Let me receive Joa. Then Isadola, thank you so much.
Thank you, teacher. Characteristics of a mature stage. The river flows down a moderate gradient or a slope. The channel is U-shaped and wider than a youthful river, yet deeper than an old-stage channel due to moderate down-cutting but also lateral, side-to-side erosion. In general, the channel is broader with gentler slopes, capable of moving many sediment sizes from ions in solution to silts and clays, also cobbles, but normally not boulders unless peak flooding occurs. Cliffs may flank the river at a distance. A floodplain exists with grassy areas beside the river along which a person can walk. Meanders may be present, though they will not be as curvy as those found in old-stage rivers. Lastly, erosion is present, though deposition of sediments also occur. Thank you.
Mr.
All right, thank you so much, Joa, for a wonderful presentation. Allow me read maybe number 9 for myself, then Mr. Sasi will take control. That is, we are saying there is more water in the stream channel. That is, the river has a greater discharge than the useful river. This means that the river is capable of carrying a greater volume of sediments. Okay, Mr. Sasio. Yes,
Mr.
please.
Elisha,
Yes, please.
these characteristics are for mature stage. I thought we are on the senile stage.
Oh, sorry. Allow me check.
We finished these ones.
Okay, it was a problem with my slides. I'd slided back. I'm very sorry. As well, I want to get someone else to help us again read the X-Sticks. Please, I projected what was, okay, we're having Isadola already, the hand is up. Let me receive Isadola, then Nico, Erin, and other fellows. Thank you so much as well for participating. I love the class today, it's very active. Isadola.
Yeah. Characteristics of the old stage. The river flows down a very shallow gradient or slope. The channel is wider than its deep, with a very broad and U-shaped channel due to the extensive lateral or side-to-side erosion. Its velocity is quite slow, and that means that the river is sluggish. Rivers in the old stage have a low ability to transport heavy loads. They are only capable of moving small-sized sediments, such as silts and clays. Small sediments are suspended into slow-moving water, giving the river a muddy appearance, with dissolved salts and ions carried in a solution form. The general landscape surrounding the river is flatter and less steeply sloped. If hilly areas exist, they are farther away from the river channel. Keep at a distance by the wide floodplain which flanks the river. A wide floodplain characterizes old stage of rivers. There are grassy areas beside the river along which a person can walk. However, the floodplain is often marshy and swampy due to the flooding of the river valley. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Isadola, for a very wonderful presentation. Allow me receive now Mr. Sansio.
Yes, please.
Okay, you can take on.
Okay, thank you so much. I want to first thank the student that has actually helped us go through the slide. It was a good thing. Thank you so much. Members, finally, we come to our old stage. Yes, as Mr. Elisha brought up the other example, that we are comparing our lives with the river now. The old stage is the other Musei, who is in the 80s, in the 90s, and is trying to fight with Mr. Sansio, who is 28, who is 27, who is 25. What will happen? Of course, Mr. Sansio is going to just give one blow to an old man, and the old man will just go down and die. Are we together? And that is the old stage. The old stage, it is the other old man who is very old, who is tired of everything. So this is a river now in its old stage. It is just depositing. The river is just releasing each and everything it is carrying so that it can have the strength of moving. So the river can move by its own, not carrying any of the deposit, any of the load. So what the river is doing is depositing. That is the major work. Only deposition. The river flows down at a very shallow gradient. Members, in the first stage, we said that the gradient is steep. In the mature stage, we said that the gradient is moderate. But here in the old stage, we are saying that the gradient is shallow, the gradient is slow. The slope is gentle sloping. Is actually near to a flat area. It is not flat, but it is near to a flat area. That is number one characteristic. I hope it is clear. Here we have actually reached the peneplenation. We have actually reached the flat land. Let us look at the shape of the river. We said in the S.3 stage, the shape is V shape. In the middle stage, we say it is U shape. Here, members, the shape is broad, very broad, because the position has taken everywhere. By this time, I would be asking myself, where does deposition take place? Members, deposition takes place in the channel, so that water can move. It takes place anywhere. That's why the river is sluggish. Are we together? So the river's shape is broad, very broad, very broad, and some U-shaped channel. Its velocity, members, is quite slow. Why is it that its velocity is slow? It's because the river is flowing on a flat land. It's flowing on a shallow gradient. That's why the river is moving very slow. The river is moving very slow because it is also moving on a flat land. Yes, we are going on. The rivers in the old stage have a low ability to transport heavy load. Members, that is why a river is depositing, because it is not moving very fast. It has no any strength to carry, but what it has, it is just releasing everything. It is releasing everything. It is depositing everything so that it can continue moving by its own, just water, not the load. They have said that it can only carry silts and clays. Silts, yeah, mud. It can just carry clays, silt. Small sediments are suspended in the slow moving water. So members, here, the river, if it can transport, it will just transport silt, and you also transport maybe clay, but not heavy load, not the boulders, not the rocks. I think we are okay also there. The general landscape surrounding the river is flatter. I've talked about this one. It is not steep. If hilly areas exist, they are further away from the river channel. Here we are not meaning that the river is only moving, the area is just flat. You can find hills, but the hills are not close to the river. They are far away the river. Now, a wide floodplain characterized. What is a floodplain? When you see Mr. Elisha, here, as you said, this stage has very many features. And among the features, we have a floodplain, right? And a floodplain A floodplain, rivers are just flooding. As a river is sluggish, a river is depositing silt, is depositing sand, is depositing rock boulders, plus shallow. It is not deep, so which means that those silt, the silt and the sand are alluvial in nature. We agreed on that. So which means that plantation, like swampy vegetation, will dominate. And after swampy vegetation dominating the silt, dominating the sand, dominating all that flooding area, it will form what we call a flood plain. Just a flood plain. It is not something big. It is just an area flooded with silt, flooded with sand, flooded with some rock boulders, dominated by swampy vegetation. That is a flood plain. And then we shall see other features like we remember, Mr. Elisha, allow me talk about a bluff and a slip of slope.
Yes, please.
What is a bluff? A bluff has another name, which is a river cliff. River cliff. You can also call it a bluff. I think you know what is a cliff. Now we want to see what is a river cliff or a bluff. A river cliff is formed on slope of a river meander. I don't know whether I'm clear, Mr. Elisha. I don't want to confuse the students. You know our meander has two slopes. It has a concave slope and a convex slope. Yes?
Yes, I think.
Yes, please.
I think you don't mind, after this wonderful explanation, we shall have a what? We shall have a brief video about it.
Yes, if we see the feature showing a meander, they will understand. The inner part of the meander is called a concave. And then the outer side, where the river is curving from, is a convex. So in a concave slope of a meander is where we form river cliffs. And it is because of erosion. Then what is eroded in that concave slope is going to be deposited on the convex slope of a meander. And on the convex slope of a meander, we shall find what we call slip of slope. So what are slip of slopes? Slip of slopes, they are deposits made of silt, made of sand on a convex slope of a meander. Then a river cliff, it is just a high elevation formed on a concave slope of a river meander by erosion. So we are going to find slip of slopes also in the old stage, because we have read something here that meanders can also be there in the old stage. Other features, members, that we are going to form, there is what we call leaves. Mr. Elisha, or I don't know whether you have prepared another slide.
I may. I wanted to minorly or to just talk about the leaves and these other things as minors, but then maybe give them explanation when they are watching the video. And here there is a question someone is asking, want to know if at all the vegetation grows at this stage, and mainly explain to her, is it a him or her? Explain to her how leaves are formed vis-a-vis the vegetation that grows near that river or near this stage.
Thank you so much. Now, the leaves, what are leaves? Leaves are the deposits of a river made of sand, silt within the river channel, but they are somehow high compared to the other surrounding. The leaf is somehow high, and it is dominated by swampy vegetation and other types of vegetation. How is it forming? The river is already in its deposition manner, right? We have accepted that. Now, the river is depositing in its channel. So as the river is moving, in order to get ways of flowing very well, it will start leaving aside the deposits, leaving aside the silt, leaving aside the boulders in the sides of its channel. Within the channel, Now the water will just start focusing in the middle to flow. But in the channel where the river has been depositing, those deposits, we agreed that they have alluvial fertile soils. Mr. Elisha talked about that. Those deposits, because they have fertile alluvial soils, now vegetation will start growing on those deposits. After vegetation growing, it will look like it is somehow raised, because a leaf is a raised ground. Because remember, it was the deposit. Now the deposit were dominated by vegetation. It will look like it is somehow raised with the vegetation. You cannot, you can step there, but that is what we call a leaf. If you know the spelling of a leaf, something left behind. You understand? It was the other deposit that was left behind, dominated by swampy vegetation. That is what we call a leaf. That is how it is formed. I think we are okay there, Mr. Elisha.
Yes, there we are very fine and contented with that. Maybe allow me, maybe you give me some time. I also take them to the other practical part. They just see part of the video and maybe how the meanders are formed before we go to the main feature, which is the other meander. And we first see them before we get the other explanation.
Okay, please.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Tasio, for a very wonderful contribution. We are having number 6, and we are saying that they are okay. A wide floodplain characterizes the old stage of the rivers, and we are saying that Keyon Kevi over Kevi Baba. Kevi, can you please collect yourself? Kevi. All right. Please, Kevi. Let it be last warning. So there are grassy areas beside the river along which a person can walk. So Nico was asking, is there vegetation on this stage? Yes, it is, because we're having the floodplains, and such floodplains, then that is where we'll find the alluvial soils are deposited. People grow there. People grow alongside the river. They grow their crops because, first of all, the soils are fertile. However, the floodplain is often marshy and swampy due to flooding of the river valley. So now, most of the time, you'll find that the people of Eastern grow a lot of rice. And normally they grow it near the river because it is marshy. Maybe when you say marshy, that means it is having a lot of water. Nico, any concern before we go to the practical part?
Teacher, I have a question.
Yes, please.
If in the old stage, if there are walkways, is it possible for one to build a house or a small building around the river?
Oh, my friend, it is very risky. It is very risky to build in the old stage, because remember, Mr. Elisha, we have what we call river rejuvenation. If you have ever heard of river rejuvenation, a river can, what is river rejuvenation? This is the process through which a river regains its erosive capacity. A river can, from nowhere, gain its erosive capacity, and it increases its speed. My friend, you are going to be eroded away again, because the river will start eroding. I think in the lesson is coming, Mr. Raisha will prepare for me a lesson. I teach what is river rejuvenation. So it is not advisable to construct around the floodplains. It is risky. Thank you so much.
All right. So, Nico, such houses, we normally find them there, but they are temporary. They normally put them there maybe when they are growing in that season after they leave, but it's very risky and dangerous. You have ever heard of flooding? The people are taken away by floods. Those are the people that are living near Thatcher rivers, or they are living in the flood plain, because the name is a flood plain. That means is a plain but occupied by that river, and sometimes the area floods. So the moment it floods, then that is where you find that the river has taken away the lives of some people in some areas. All right, I would like us maybe to first move on to these are the other stages, and maybe we shall talk of the oxbow lakes exist within the meanders and what. Allow me receive one of you to read for us maybe this part from 7 to 13. Again, it's $1. Let me get more, please. Let me get more. Let me get more. Okay, NBA, let me get more. Airline, let me get more. Airline, I did not receive the airline before. Kevin had wanted to receive her or him before, but then again ran away. There is NBA, there is KV, whom should I receive? KV is very stubborn. KV, it's network. Okay. I've tried to receive KV, but then on KV, the network is poor. I don't know to your side or to my side, so I'm unable to receive your hand. Allow me maybe receive. Oh, students are very many. There is a user base as well. Isabella, our class monitor, can you try to receive one of those? Our class monitor, I think my network is now becoming so poor. Isabella, you can just try to receive any hand. Okay, NBA?
Shall I read the whole slide?
Yes, you can read 7 to 13. Yes, please.
Okay. Curvy S-shaped meanders are abundant and prominent features of an older river referred to as the Swan's Neck. Streams run parallel to the main river but do not join it. Oxbow lakes exist within the floodplain. Meanders were cut off from the main stream due to the extensive erosion and deposition. The meander is now its own lake, but with no water entering to replenish its supply, it will eventually dry up and become a meander scar. Natural levees, ridges formed by successive floods that deposit sediment over time, which flank the outside meander curves. Fed by many tributaries, which join the main river at various locations, the discharge (volume of water) is quite large. This means that although the river is capable of moving only the finer sediments, it can move large amounts of sediments. Erosion is present on the concave curves of meanders, while deposition of sediments occurs on the convex curves.
Yes, please. I think Mr. Elisha, thank you so much. This is what I explained. I want us to first focus on this last characteristic. Erosion is present on the concave curves of meanders, while deposition of sediments occurs on the convex curve. Mr. Elisha, do you remember me talking about this?
Yes, please.
Yes, when you see members, students, let us focus on the number 13. I will explain others, but let us see number 13. Erosion is present on the concave curves of meanders, while deposition of sediments occurs on the convex curve. Now, here what are we forming? We are forming a river cliff and a slip-off slope. A river cliff is going to form on the concave curve by erosion, and then a slip-off slope will form on the convex curve. I think that this one is now understood, right? Now, continue by talking about the number 9. Oxbow lakes exist within the floodplains. Members, what are oxbow lakes? Oxbow lakes are formed when the meander loop or the meander neck is actually cut from the main river. And when they cut, since the river is meandering, it will reach an extent that the curve or the neck is small, and the deposit will cut off the meander neck. After cutting off the meander neck, what is left behind is actually called an oxbow leg. An oxbow leg is also known as a horse leg, a horse foot leg. When you see this horse, its foot, it looks like actually exactly like an oxbow leg. It is formed from a meander neck when it is actually cut off from the meander. Members, let us go on number 10. Natural leaves, as I explained. Thank you so much, Mr. Lisa, for bringing up this slide. I like you, man. Thank you so much.
All right.
This is what exactly explained. Natural leaves, ridges formed by successful floods that deposit sediments over time, which flank the outside meander curves. As I explained, that leaves are formed by the river after depositing in its channel. After depositing, it will stop focusing on the deposit. Since it cannot erode the deposit, it will leave the deposit and focus in the middle to keep on flowing. But on the sides where it has deposited, it will look to be raised because the deposits will be much. It will be raised, made up of silt, sand, and some small rock boulders. But remember, they are fertile in nature. They will be dominated by vegetation to form leaves. Thank you, Mr. Elisha. I like this slide.
Right. Thank you so much. So the main reason as why I am again putting up this slide is one of the reasons we are having what we call formation of slides. The slide, so formation of the oxbow legs here. Again, we shall see where the concave curves of the meanders are. I know people do still have questions here. And also the convex curves where they are. So these are the main features now. We talked of the natural leaves ridges. Mr. Sansi has talked about them. So I want us maybe mainly to focus on this, on the projection of the video that I'm going to give you. But before that, allow me to receive Elizabeth may be having a concern before I go on. I don't want to leave any member with any concern or a question. Elizabeth.
No, teacher, I just wanted to read what was on the screen. It's okay.
Yes, please.
I just wanted to read what was on the screen.
You wanted to?
Read what was on the screen, but it's okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. I'm going to, you can leave it up. You can leave your hand up. There is what I'm going to project as well. I'm coming to the next slide. Okay, we are having the features formed on the old stage of a river. Can I receive maybe Elizabeth this time around? Elizabeth, you can now read for us on this stage.
Thank you. The features in the old stage of a river meanders. These are curved bends of a river channel. Water flows fastest on the outer bend of the river, where the channel is deeper and there is less friction. This is due to water being flung towards the outer bend as it flows around the meander. This causes greater erosion, which deepens the channel. In turn, the reduction in friction and increase in energy results in greater erosion. This lateral erosion results in undercutting of the river bank and the formation of a steep-sided river cliff. In contrast, on the inner bend, water is slowly flowing due to it being a low-energy zone. Deposition occurs resulting in a shallower channel.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for a very wonderful presentation. Now, we are having, I want us to see what meandering is. Most of you are still confused about the word meandering. The word meandering is just moving in a zigzag way, eh? You're moving, but you're not heading to one direction. You can see
Yes.
what I'm drawing here. Eh? You're not straight to the point. Yes, please.
Mr. Elisha.
Yes, please.
Yes, meandering. Let me use some mother language. Let me use a simple way. This refers to acute bending. Meandering is the acute bending of a river, trying to dodge the hardest part of the rock.
Very good.
You understand?
Mm.
Rocks that a river cannot erode, it tries to channel around it, to dodge it, finding other soft ways of passing through, of sailing through. By so doing, by so dodging that deposit, by so dodging that hard rock, it is causing what we call a meandering. It is bending.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sansio. Now, with meandering, we shall as well be having what we call soft rocks and hardy rocks. So as the water is moving, remember as we have said that first of all, it is moving at a slow or at a very, it is slowing. Okay, then water is moving at a slow speed or at a slower speed. And it doesn't have the other ability to come and erode the other hard rocks. And therefore, what it does, it moves in areas where there are soft rocks, where it can manage. It pushes the other thing that it can manage. That's why we are comparing it with the human feature. This is physical geography, by the way. We compare it with your life. At that age, when you're old, you are unable to push the bigger things, and therefore you will move where you manage cut. Or when the river reaches here, it would have pushed this boulder away, but it won't. It will rather pass where it will manage. And here it is moving now straight. It would have pushed this one, but this boulder will push it back, and it looks for where the softer rocks are. Then here it will have pushed this one as well, but it moves, it leaves it behind. So we'll find it that it is meandering. Nico has a concern, and from Nico's concern, we shall directly go to the physical part of what I am talking about.
Thank you so much.
Let me first receive maybe Nico with a concern, then from there we'll go to... Yes, Nico.
Teacher, my concern is through meandering, is an oxbow lake formed in case a part breaks off, or it's formed through another process during that stage?
All right. It's a very good question and a very good one. Thank you so much. This brings me hopes that we are now understanding something. So he's asking, do we have meanders at this stage? Sorry, the oxbow lakes, are they formed under this stage? Yes, it is a fact, and it is very true. Meanders are formed, sorry, the oxbow lakes are formed under this stage. As the river, it is meandering. As it is meandering, we shall see that it will come and erode this part. Here it will be depositing. Then here it is eroding. And you'll find that this part joins. So what is it? Then with time, this river will now start passing here. Then this one will now be left behind as an oxbow lake. Please, this is how maybe the oxbow lake is. And this part now, it will be muddy, sort of, and we shall have the other vegetation here. Then the Oxbow Lake is formed here. Now the river gains a new way through. Let's see this one physically in our video. Please, I request let us now watch that video carefully and allow me post it.
Ever wonder why rivers meander?
Okay, first of all, this is what I want you to first see. Allow me maybe first ask the class monitor. Class monitor, Isabella, I think, let me see anyone who is seeing my screen by show of hands, what I'm projecting, by show of hands, by show of hands. Okay, that's very wonderful. That means all of us are able to see. So what you're seeing here now, it is what we are talking about. The way how the river is meandering, the way how it is moving. And I want you to check very well on its beds, on its here, eh? Huh? Where on its on the river banks, you will always find that there is vegetation here, there are trees glowing. So this is known as river meandering, the way how it is moving. Please listen to the video carefully.
Hello, young people. Entrenched meander, Yakima River to south of Ellensburg, Washington. Meanders are a feature of old age, these sweeping curves of the river. As rivers age, they develop more and more exaggerated meanders. We know this by flying over the Mississippi River system. And we see all stages of meander development back there. Eventually, the meander becomes so exaggerated that curve is abandoned and an oxbow.
So I want you to see how the Oxbow Lake has been formed on this part. Leave the person talking alone. Let me turn back a bit. You can see how the river, formerly how it was flowing.
Eventually, the meander becomes so exaggerated
or some small
that curve is abandoned and an Oxbow Lake
then the Oxbow Lake is formed.
And the channel becomes straight again. We can only develop these curves when an area is flat, like back east at the Mississippi. And here we've got these exaggerated curves as well, which means central Washington used to be flat. But there's a twist. This place isn't flat anymore. This is a deep canyon system. So to understand that twist, how about we get up on that rim and get a big picture view of the Yakima River Canyon. Let's go up there. High up above the Yakima River, on the rim of the canyon looking down, there's one of our meanders. We know about meanders. The meanders got established when the area was flat, a subtle curve becoming a more exaggerated curve. But then we froze the position of this.
So I want you to again see how it is here. It was moving from this side. Let me get a pen here. It was moving from this end. But when it reached here, it would have passed here on this section. But then it was unable because here we are having what we call a hard rock. A hard rock. So it had to follow this. Leo, please, I'm explaining. Thank you so much. So it had to follow where the soft rocks are, and therefore started to meander.
Meander, and we entrenched it. Entrenched meanders tell us that the land is lifting against the river. The river wasn't up here and was cut down. We're sure that the river has been down there for millions of years, and the land has been lifting against the meander, against the river. The river's been cutting, matching an uplift rate of the bedrock, basalt layer after basalt layer, exposing themselves on the way up. The future of this meander is not more exaggerated meander, development of an oxbow lake. Instead, the future of this curve is more cutting, because the uplift continues here in central Washington. Entrenched meanders, just south of Ellensburg, Washington. It's all out here to see. Coulees, rocks, and canyons is scenery. Right here for you and me. 2-minute geology.
Okay, members, let me see people by show of hands. People were not seeing my screen. By show of hands, I think no one. Okay. Leo. Okay, I do think all of us have been able to see our screen, and maybe Mr. Sansio, you can maybe somehow let you be taking them through as I receive this call.
Yes, please. Yes, please, Mr. Elisha. Members, those who have been able to see this video, our video was very clear, and it is actually showing us the layout of our meander. And clearly, the picture has been okay. As you have been explaining, the carving, the bending. Mr. Elisha, I want you, if everything is okay, I want you to bring the video back and pause for me so that I show them what is a concave slope of a meander and a convex slope of a meander, so that they understand what a bluff is and what a slip-off slope is. Moving on, that is what we call the old stage. Most features of a river, majority of the features are formed in the old stage. And clearly, we shall talk about them. And I want you to also, out there, challenge yourself, challenge your brains by making that research to understand what are those. Very good. Mr. Aisha, I think you can first pause there. Yes, this photo. Very good. Mr. Aisha?
Yes, please.
Yes, I want to use this photo you have displayed.
Yeah, use it.
And I teach these learners what we call the concave slope and the convex slope. I will be writing on. Please, teacher, don't rub my things. Which color should I use? I think I should use the yes. Now, members, I'm using this yellow color. Here where I am painting, I think you can follow these arrows that are showing us, these black arrows. Now, where I have painted here, where I've painted with a yellow color is actually what we call a convex slope. This is a convex slope of a meander, members. This is convex. Now, again, let me change the color. Let me change the color maybe. Now, these straight lines I'm drawing here. Now, this is a convex slope of a meander. This is the concave. The first one was convex. This last one, that have drawn these lines is called concave. Now, river cliffs, this blacker color on the concave is actually called a river cliff. And then this yellow, this blue color on the concave, on the convex slope is actually called a slip of slope. I hope I'm clear, Mr. Aisha. I hope I am clear.
All right.
Mr.
Thank you so much, Mr. Stasio, for your explanation. And I think members, if at all there is any concern, I can see some members putting up their hands, none other than Didi and Nico. And Nico, thank you so much for being more active among the boys. Then there is Didi. Didi, can you please first give us your concern?
Thank you, teacher. So my question.
What's your name?
My name is Desire.
Oh, Desire, good.
So my question is, so what makes the first part to be convex and the other side to be concave? Like what makes them to have those names? And then my second question, I would like you to be more illustrative on the way how the oxbow lakes are formed.
A wonderful question. Point noted. Let me receive this one. I hope, Mr. Sasio, you as well, you're listening to the questions.
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay, let's first skip that one. Let's first get another lesson. I love the first question. Why is the bending part the other side? Okay, noted it. Then let me receive Nico, then after Priscilla.
Teacher, my first question which I have is, once the river is meandering and one side of it is blocked and the other side is not blocked, once the water flows, does it stay stationary to where the water is blocked at the end, or it just keeps on reflowing from where it is?
Okay, thank you so much. I think I've been able to note down your question as well. That was Nicole. Then let me receive Priscilla.
Thank you, teacher. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Teacher, my question is about it does it in meander transport allowed? Transport like
okay.
like transport involve goods.
Oh, the other real transport of ours, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. All right. I think I will try. Oh, there is Isadora. Isadora as well. Let me receive you as the last person, then I reply those questions and read.
So like in the video earlier, there were like the guy was showing.
He was? Isadora, you lost? All right. I do think Isadora has been disturbed by network. We can't hear you, but I heard only the first statement that in the video the guy was doing this, and now I'm unable to listen anything from you. Otherwise, thank you so much. If at all there is your concern, you can write it in the comment section. We shall see it as well. Now, let me reply to some of the questions. Then Mr. Sasio has also been noting down the questions he will add on. Now, first question was from one of the girls who asked that why do we have the other bending part? That was none other than Desire or Desire Seek. And another one concave, another one convex. So it's not understanding the criteria there. All right. Now, what brings this one? Allow me explain it once again. This is now where the river originally was coming from. So Desire want to know if the river was coming from here, why didn't it move straight this side? We have said that when a river reaches at this stage or in this stage of a river, the river is moving at a slow motion and therefore it doesn't have the other capacity of loading the hard rock. Members, it means here the river found what we call a hard rock here. There is a hard rock, and therefore it is unable to move or to straightly load this rock, but it will rather take part where there is a soft rock. And therefore we get this bend. Why do we have this bend now here? It's because this part, this area, there were softer rocks than this part. So this part we are having a hard rock, but this side we are having a softer rock. And therefore, the water will be able to erode this side than the way it is eroding this side. Reason being, one part is having the softer rocks, another part is having the hardy rocks, as well as when we reach here, then it will take this direction because it has discovered where the softer rocks are. I think I've been able to reply you, Desire, and thank you so much for that wonderful question. Then now again replied about, asked about the oxybolics. How are they formed? Members, as we are having this one now, let me start it afresh. As we are having the water moving this side and this side, then this corner now, it will, we say that there is erosion, but they are eroding the other part, the other bends. So that it may keep on eroding somehow little, but this side it is depositing some materials. So with the time you will find that this area is cut off, this part. And means the river will have achieved its objective of moving like this, straight. And therefore, it will never turn back at this side, because when it moves like this, then this side is now blocked. This side is blocked. And what remains this side, where I'm putting some water here, it is known as an oxbow lake. Formerly, it was part of the river, but because it was later blocked, it forms what we call an oxbow lake. I do think I've been able to reply you, none other than Desire. I can see that we still have more concerns, and why should I open the group today? I think I may open the WhatsApp group so as we can as well get more explanation about it. But then again, for more explanation, I will as well, Mr. Sansio, I am trying to fight or to run with time. I'm trying to run with time. I'm having only 5 minutes.
Yes, let me answer that. Let me answer that student who asked that, can water transport take place in the river meander?
Okay.
Yes, please. Water transport takes place in the river meander. It takes place. So long as, yet when we don't have the waterfalls, water transport takes place.
Okay, thank you so much. So now that is what we normally get, and that's how the oxbow lakes will ever be formed. Moving to maybe this next last slide that I had prepared, it also explains more on how the oxbow lakes are formed. You can see how I'm trying to give you some different illustrations. Come to illustration 1. We have 5 to 6x, the bend of the width. Then we have reef. The area is shallow water, then pool area. Here the river was straight. But when it comes to part 2, it started to meander. That means here the bent area, it formed what we call soft rocks. It started to erode those rocks. Then coming to this part now, that is illustration 3. You can see the bend keeps on enlarging. Come to illustration 4, the bend has enlarged, it's now big. Then coming to part 5, we say that previously, you can see how the river is now moving. It left this part now behind, this part. This part was left behind, as you can see. Then it formed what we call an oxbow lake, or the neck of the land between the meander bends. This one, it bends and now it is left behind. I'm going to maybe, I never wanted to project these ones once again or to forward them in a group, but I will as well forward them in a group for the interest of time. I normally want us to finish, to start the lesson in time and finish in time. And allow me to appreciate everyone that has been participating in this lesson. Among boys have been able to recognize NBA, Musas is around, NBA, Nicole, and girls are very many. That is Elaine, our class monitor. So allow me, Banaye, Musasizi, let me receive Musasizi. Musasizi, in only 30 seconds, you can briefly give us your concern.
Good evening, everyone. For me, I'm
good
requesting the holistic group invite link.
To?
The holistic invite link. Group link.
Okay, Musazi, you're going to maybe inbox me on this number, then I will send you the link. Or others, you can as well forward the link to him. Let's work as a group. Okay, let me, you can write it down as I write, because I may not get more another time to write it. You can maybe inbox me on this number, then I add you in the other main group. Every other person, I thought Isadora, I'm going to add you as well. I will give you the link and you share the link with other fellows so that they can as well enjoy the lesson. Musa, thank you so much for that concern. Hope you have noted down the number. You will inbox me immediately. I work on you. I'm going to receive Isadora. Sorry, no. Erin, you will give us maybe some little communication about how the lesson was. Then we shall as well receive the class monitor and we get a concluding prayer. Yes, Erin?
Yes, teacher. Thank you, teacher. Teacher, my concern is about the group. I'm not in the group, I'm just going to this.
Okay, the group you will inbox me on that number, then I'm going to work on you. Then could you please comment on the lesson just in only 30 seconds? Okay, that one has gone. Let me, class monitor, our class monitor, that was none other than our class monitor. Please, can you come up? Our class monitor. Oh, class monitor had escaped. All right. I'm receiving Isadora to talk on behalf. Oh, Isabella. What happened? Isabella was our co-host.
Commenting about the lesson. The lesson has been actually great. Very good explanations. The illustration was nice and I understood most of the stuff that were taught. Thank you so much to the teachers, the co-teacher and the main teacher. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Sorry, Isadora, for one question. And allow me receive Isabella, please, can you put you requested me for
pardon?
Yes. No. Isabella, where is Isabella? Okay, Isabella, happened? You were a co-host. Isabella, can you unmute yourself? Okay, Isabella.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, you're going to give us final comments as well as a closing prayer.
The lesson was generally good because I understood what was being taught, and people were participating, which is a good thing. And I hope we were all able to understand what was being taught. Yes, it was being taught during this lesson, teacher. And we want to thank you and the co-teacher for explaining the concepts very well.
All right. A closing prayer again. Okay, but before the closing prayer, allow me thank Mr. Sasio once again for really helping us and be giving us a support within this lesson. Mr. Sasio.
Yes, please. Yes, please, Mr.
Okay,
Elisha. I thank you so much for giving me also the chance to share knowledge. You see, it is a good thing to me joining the learners, sharing knowledge because we have to shape the nation, and it is good when the learners understand. So once again, I will always be glad for your invite, and I will always join so long as you give me the opportunity. I will always squeeze time for the geography class. Thank you so much to the students. We wish you well.
All right. Closing prayer, Isabella, just in only 10 seconds.
Let's humble ourselves for a prayer. Father Lord, we thank you for bringing us all here. We thank you for enabling our teachers to teach us and for enabling us to understand. May we retain the knowledge we have obtained from this lesson. And may you protect us and our teachers as we leave this lesson. In Jesus' name we have prayed and believed. Amen.
Okay, thank you so much, Isabella. Bye-bye. I love you all. Thank you so much for participating.